The St. Louis Cardinals ruin another rookie debut as they top the Mets in game one of their Sunday doubleheader thanks to one big inning.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on X at JD Sports Radio and the podcast at LO_Cardinals. We're on YouTube. We would love for you to come on by, like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. Also on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Mother Nature has been toying with our Cardinals this week, renting them out not once, but twice, and forcing them to play not one, but two doubleheaders, which, you know, when you were a kid and you had a tournament over the weekend and you would play doubleheaders and there was no problem. Major league level, it's a little bit of a different story, not quite as easy. The Cardinals, however, were able to sweep the doubleheader that they had on Wednesday in Cincinnati. And then after Saturday was washed out, the Cardinals and Mets had game one on Sunday afternoon, a game that the Cardinals would hang on to win thanks to one big inning offensively and one huge moment for the bullpen. We're going to talk about both of these situations for you here. We're going to start with the offense, though, which had a chance to face another rookie pitcher making their debut, Mets right-hander Blade Tidwell. And it worked out for the Cardinals on Wednesday when they went up against the Reds' Chase Petty, who was making his major league debut in that second game of their doubleheader on Wednesday. The Cardinals were up to the task in that one, blasting Chase Petty all over the park, and they were up to the task once again in this one. Took a little while to get things going, though. Willson Contreras did tie things up at one in the bottom of the second inning, had an opposite field home run. And it was one of those that you're just like, wow, I can't believe that got out, because it hits the top of the wall, spins before going over the wall. Like Soto's in right field. He's totally waiting for it to bounce back down so he could throw it into second base on what was going to be a double. And somehow, some way it hits and just and goes the opposite way and goes over the wall for a home run. Fourth home run of the year for Willson Contreras. Contreras is apparently not the guy that you want to face if you are a rookie making your major league debut, because he's going to be a jerk, because he smacked a 3-run home run in the first inning off of Petty in that debut game on Wednesday night. And then here in the second inning, he tags Tidwell for an opposite field home run. So, Willson Contreras feasting on the rookies. Got to love it. Mets would end up grabbing that lead right back in the top of the third inning, but the Cardinals would answer again. They get 3 straight singles by Donovan, Nolan Arenado, and Willson Contreras again. This would load the bases with 1 out for Nolan Gorman, who I know it's very frustrating to watch. He's not having a good start to the year. The power is nowhere to be found, but you're hoping that you're going to see something big from him eventually. Eventually, you feel like it's going to click, right? Like it's got to, right? Like he's got too much talent for it to keep going like this. But so far, we haven't seen him come up and do much in big situations. However, in this particular spot, no, he doesn't get a hit. He doesn't get a double, doesn't hit a home run, anything like this. But he does put the ball in play, which is, miracle number one for Nolan Gorman with the strikeouts. And he hits it deep enough to left field that Donovan is able to tag up on third base. He's able to score to tie this game up. But some really shabby base running. I was like, what the hell is going on? Did they forget how many outs there were? I didn't know what happened, but Contreras gets caught in a rundown that eventually leads to Arenado getting tagged out and forced out between home and third, ends the inning, ends the threat, which is something you absolutely don't want to do against a rookie out of all things. This guy's feeling the heat. He's under pressure, man. He's freaking out, and you just let him off the hook. Can't do that. Not sure what the hell was going on there, but it's dumb stuff like that can cost you ball games. And the Cardinals are not good enough to overcome dumb base running on a day-to-day basis. Able to do it today. They survived, but that's the kind of stuff that'll screw a game up for you. So we got a tied game move on to the bottom of the fourth inning where the Cardinals put together some 2-out magic, which you love to see because it feels like it happens to the Cardinals a lot. Doesn't happen for the Cardinals a lot, but there they were with 2 outs. Victor Scott starts the rally with a single. Barrero is hit by a pitch, but with 2 outs, Alec Burleson works a 4-pitch walk. Thank you, Burley, for not swinging at the first pitch. And that brings up the Cardinals' best hitter this season in Brendan Donovan. If there's going to be a guy at the plate that you want in a situation like this, it is Brendan Donovan. And he rips a 2-2 pitch for a single up the middle. That scores Scott, and Barrero makes it 4-2. Arenado has a solid at bat. He ends up working a 7-pitch walk. He looked better at the plate today. That brings up Willson Contreras again, who serves a single to right field. And it was on sort of like a check swing, but it was also a full swing. Like he just kind of peppered it. That's a good word for it. He just kind of peppered it out to right field, which played a 2 more. That makes it 6-2. And the Cardinals have this commanding lead. They knock out the rookie Tidwell before the end of the inning. So well done there. Unfortunately, the Cardinals offense would end up going silent again after this inning. And it's something that happened in game 2 of the doubleheader on Wednesday against the Reds. They light up Petty in that second game and then got nothing after that. Remember, it was like 20 straight hitters got mowed down, like just nothing. And then that offense bled over into the game on Thursday where the offense did very little. They ended up getting blown out in that one, and they just switched the scores, and it was 9-1 the Reds instead. Don't want to see that happen again in game 2. But Willson Contreras was the star offensively in game 1. He goes 3 for 4 on the day. Home run, 3 RBIs. He's got his average up to a more respectable 244 after that ice-cold start to the season. In fact, Contreras is hitting 391 in his last 7 games, 382 over his last 15. So it's good to see him swinging the lumber a little bit better, more like the Contreras we're used to, more like the guy we saw in spring training who just vanished in the month of April. I don't know what happened to him, but he was not here. But the Willson Contreras that's been around the last week or so, much better. That's what we want to see. He can stay. Brendan Donovan with that huge hit in the 4th inning. He ends up going 2 for 4 in this one. He's got 2 RBIs, 4-game hitting streak going on now. I know Willie has been hitting lately, but there is no doubt that Brendan Donovan has been the best and most consistent hitter in the Cardinals lineup so far this season. He is the one guy that I truly trust. Like, if he comes up to the plate, I feel like he's going to do something. He's going to do something good. Very rarely has he let us down so far this year. If it's a key situation, there is nobody else on the team I want at that plate other than Brendan Donovan. He's been that good. He's batting .339 now on the season, which is second only to the Mets' Pete Alonso, who had another good day today, but second in the National League. He's 4th best in batting average overall in Major League Baseball. You've got Aaron Judge, who's just on another level right now, hitting .422 like it's ridiculous. And then you've got Alonso, and then former Cardinal first baseman Paul Goldschmidt is 3rd in the major leagues at .344. Nolan Arenado, as I mentioned, looked much better at the plate today. I tweeted that out where I was like, I've seen a lot of the really weak ground balls to the left side recently, which makes me feel like he's off balance, that he's reaching for pitches. I've been seeing that a lot lately, but as soon as I said that, next couple of bats, he hit a couple of lasers. So 2 hits for Arenado. Hopefully he's coming back around a little bit. Victor Scott had 2 hits today, including a bunt single, which you're always going to love that. As a Cardinal fan, you love to see the bunt. Jose Barrero had his first hit as a Cardinal. Burley got one too. Rare game that Lars Nootbaar was just didn't do anything. Nothing. Didn't have a hit. Didn't have a walk. He was 0 for 5. Nolan Gorman was 0 for 2, but he had that RBI sac fly and a walk. A couple of nice defensive plays at second base. Got his hand stepped on by Contreras and was bleeding all over the place, but stays in the game, which you love to see. Cardinals get 11 hits in this game. Only 1 extra base hit, the 1 home run by Contreras, the only extra base hit of the game, which is a little bit odd, but it was enough to win. They get the victory. They win it 6-5, but it wasn't sweaty because things got sweaty in this one, even though the offense jumped out to that 6-2 lead. We'll talk about Erick Fedde's start and the bullpen's continuous roller coaster ride that eventually is going to give me a heart attack. It's going to happen. So we'll get into that coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to go. You're ready to play. You can dive into hundreds of premium titles. Personal favorites of mine, EA Sports College Football 25. I'm a big Madden fan, although I'm not, dead on to the football stuff right now. I have made my way over to MLB The Show, but I love me the college football games and love me the Madden. I'm glad college football is back. Maybe you're not a sports person. Maybe it's like Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is more your speed. You can do that too. Bottom line is you're going to be able to jump into whatever games you're into as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. Latest technology for elevated playing to give you smoother, more responsive gameplay with lightning-fast speeds that help you stay competitive. With 4K streaming, you can watch over 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services, places like Netflix and Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and a whole lot more. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass, ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X anytime you want. The feedback is always welcome and encouraged. Erick Fedde on the hill in game one. And the first thing you're going to notice if you were either watching this start or you look at the box score after the fact is you're going to notice the walks. And they stick out like a sore thumb. 5 more walks in this game for Erick Fedde, giving him 21 so far on the season, which is tied for the second most in all of baseball behind only San Diego's Randy Vasquez. And you know, as well as I do, that unless you possess some serious strikeout stuff in your arsenal, you cannot survive at this level of baseball putting that many runners on in a game. You will not win. The fact that they got away with it today is incredible. I cannot believe that they were able to do that against this Mets lineup, and Erick Fedde came away with a victory. It is an absolute miracle that he didn't give up more runs. And I say this in almost every single start that Erick Fedde makes because he keeps putting guys on. He got his second win of the season on Sunday, his first since opening day. Or not opening day, but the opening series, since his first start, I should say, against the Minnesota Twins. That was the only game so far this year in 7 starts that Erick Fedde has not walked anyone. So it made sense that he won that game. It kind of makes sense that he hasn't won a game since. Not always his fault, but when you see those walk totals, it makes it more difficult. His walks per game go 0, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, and now 5. And somehow he's able to minimize the damage in a lot of those games and come away with quality starts. He's got 4 of them this year, and I can't speak about all the games off the top of my head, but on Sunday, it's not like he was really wild, where it was like, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't know where the ball's going. He's all over the place. And he wasn't like competitive against the hitters because that wasn't the case at all. He was around the zone, a lot of it. The Mets hitters were just able to lay off some close pitches, or those pitches were so good that they fooled the hitters not to swing. And he just got unlucky that the Mets hitters weren't, taking the bait and chasing some of these pitches. But it wasn't like he was just, oh my gosh, this is like Nuke LaLoosh from Bull Durham or something. He was around the zone. Like, I don't know how some of these hitters lay off some of these pitches. Like, it's incredible. I mean, I guess that's why they're major leaguers. But I feel like some of the times the Mets hitters just got lucky. They didn't take the bat off their shoulders. They should have been swinging at those pitches, and lo and behold, they don't, and they end up going against Fedde. But instead of just laying the ball in there, I will give Fedde credit, and this is something maybe he's thought about, is that, when he gets to counts like this and he gets close to walking somebody, he's not going to just lay it in there because he's afraid of walking a person. He's more than content to take his chances with a new batter, try to throw something competitive, throw a cutter or a sweeper or something that's a little bit off the plate, see if he can get him go fishing. And if it doesn't happen, so be it. I'll start over with the next guy, get a new batter, get a fresh count. He's not going to just lay it in there just so he doesn't walk the person so the guy can smash one off the wall or, heaven forbid, knock it over the wall. So after that Cardinals big inning in the fourth, they're up 6-2 at this point. Fedde did something that was like the most important thing he could do. And it was put up a 0 in the following inning. How many times do you see the Cardinals go ahead, get a lead, and then the next inning they give up a couple of runs and the other team gets right back in it and the momentum switches again? Didn't happen in this one. And it makes that bigger inning sting a little bit more because they got to kind of sit on that for a little bit like, damn, we're still down 4 runs, man. Damn. Top of the 6th, though, big no-no, obviously, is the leadoff walk. You just don't like to see that. And then the Mets get a single. Pitch counts at 101, so that finishes Fedde's day. He would hand things off to the bullpen, and we know how much this bullpen can be a crapshoot from night to night. The path to Helsley has been a difficult one for Ollie Marmol in most games, but right now the script of Leahy, Maton, and then Helsley is the one Ollie is trying to use if possible. That's the one he has the most trust in, so naturally, 2-1, nobody out. He goes to Kyle Leahy first, which smart move. And once again, Kyle Leahy is able to deliver an excellent outing in this one. He ends up inducing 2 weak ground balls. So weak, like he was so good, and those balls were hit so weakly that the Cardinals were unable to turn 2 on either of them, which was really unfortunate because it ends up pushing a run across for the Mets to make it 6-3. But the ball never left the infield. Like, it's not like Leahy was getting hit hard or something. No, he did exactly what he needed to do. And they were hit so poorly that they couldn't turn 2, which was unfortunate because that brought up Juan Soto. And now you're like, oh boy, here we go. Juan Soto's at the plate, and Leahy comes through, man. He gets the strikeout call on Soto, who didn't like the call. I loved it because I'm a Cardinal fan. Might have missed the zone a little bit, but it was very, very close. So either way, he gets the call. Leahy gets the punch out, and he's able to stop that big inning from taking place. Leahy would throw another shutout inning in the 7th, lowers his ERA on the season to a phenomenal 1.33. I mean, how much has Kyle Leahy meant to this bullpen so far this season? A guy that, we were aware of him coming into the season. We saw him pitch really, really well in spring training, but he has taken his game to the next level. And after what we saw today, it might be him coming in more higher leverage situations later in games than it will be Phil Maton. But I don't think that's been rattled just yet. I think Ollie's going to stick to this script for now because the next guy up in the script after Kyle Leahy is going to be Phil Maton. He comes into the 8th inning, but this is the Cardinals bullpen. It's 6-3 at this point. This is the Cardinals bullpen. So things got to get hectic. They got to get crazy. And what followed was perhaps a major turning point for JoJo Romero's season. I really hope it is. I'll talk about it next on Locked On Cardinals. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I am one of the rotating hosts on that show, so if you want to stop by and show some Cardinal love, I would appreciate that. So anyway, here we go. Phil Maton, he's had one heck of a start to the season, right? Up until Sunday, he had only allowed an earned run in one game in his previous 15 appearances. He's been outstanding, so there's no real reason to feel like going to Maton is a shaky situation. But in game 1, he does the one thing that a reliever is told to absolutely not do, and that is walk the leadoff hitter. Because for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a baseball gods thing and it's just like punishment, but you walk that leadoff hitter, that dude usually comes around to score and usually begins some sort of rally for the other team, and that's exactly what happened in game 1 on Sunday. Leadoff walk to the number 6 hitter, Luis Torrens, gets Jeff McNeil to ground into a force out. Again, the ball wasn't hit hard enough to turn 2. So again, bad luck on that. But then you've got a single by Acuna. And then you get a single by Taylor, which flips the lineup over. And now you're in big trouble because now you've got the bases loaded. You do have 1 out, so the double play is still there. But now you've got the big boys coming up. You got Lindor, you got Soto, you got Alonso all waiting to bust this thing open. And if you're going to beat the Mets, you have to do whatever you can do to keep the bases cleared in front of those 3 guys. It's difficult to do it in front of the guys following those 3 because one of those 3 guys is probably going to get on base at some point. But if you can keep it cleared in front of those 3, that's the goal. Do it any way possible. That's what you do. But in this situation, here we are, bases loaded. Francisco Lindor up at the plate, and he singles. And it wasn't a horrible pitch. It was a cutter below the zone, but he's one of the best hitting shortstops in baseball. Drives in 2. Here we go. 6-5. Runners on first and second, and now you got Juan Soto at the dish. So Maton's done. Ali goes and gets JoJo Romero. And the struggles for JoJo have been well documented. And you're asking him to come in a super pressure situation against one of the greatest hitters in the game right now. Not an easy task. But you can't just find easy places to put these guys. These guys got to step up. Last year, JoJo Romero stepped up a lot. And the bullpen was very, very good last year because of it. And so far this year, he hasn't been able to come through. So this is a big spot for him. He goes up 0-2 on Juan Soto. So you're like, oh my gosh, look at him attacking. He's coming after him. But it's Juan Soto. Starts nibbling a little bit, and eventually Soto works the walk because he just doesn't chase. Now you got ducks on the pond again for Mr. Cardinal killer Pete Alonso. Already had 2 doubles in the game at this point. Leads the NL in hitting. He's second in RBIs. It's still shocking to me that somebody didn't overpay for the polar bear and take him out of New York and put him somewhere else. I'm shocked that nobody went after him. But now he's burning up the league, and he's been smashing the Cardinals all season so far. And I'm willing to bet there wasn't a single Cardinal fan watching at this point in the game and thought that this was going to end well. I didn't. I was fully prepared for this to go off the rails and get bad. Mets fans at the game, they're all on the third base side behind their dugout. They're going wild. Cardinals fans sitting on their hands or chewing their fingernails. Everybody's nervous if you're wearing red. We're expecting the inevitable. Like, you're like, you can't watch. You're like, just tell me when it's over. Just tell me when it's over. I can't watch this. And lo and behold, JoJo freaking Romero and his tight ponytail punch out Alonso on a backdoor slider that nicks the zone. It was a perfect pitch. It was a great call by the umpire. Alonso did not like the call. Sucks to be you, buddy. Take a seat. Take a seat. It was a perfect pitch. That brings up Brandon Nimmo. So it's not like things get all that much easier. Nimmo has been outstanding this year so far. Just had a 9 RBI game recently. But he also hits lefties. He's a left-handed hitter, but he also hits lefties well. JoJo gets ahead of him 1-2. And now we've got the Cardinals fans. Now it's their turn to show off their ability to make a little noise and get loud. People come to their feet. You know, it's a big situation. And you see the Cardinals fans in attendance. They had the announced attendance was over 37,000 people. But they're rallying behind JoJo. He gets Nimmo to fly out to center field. The Cardinals hang on to the lead. JoJo shows that raw emotion after the ball is caught. The crowd is jacked, and you know it felt like Cardinal baseball again at Busch Stadium. It was awesome. It was awesome. Ali even said in the post game how he thought Romero fed off of the crowd and how loud it got. Said it hadn't been that loud in a while. I miss those crowds, man. I miss those crowds. Ownership, we miss those crowds. We want to be back there, man. Well, that was cool. Huge moment for JoJo and this team. Helsley keeps the drama going in the 9th inning, gives up the leadoff single, throws a wild pitch to put the runner in scoring position. because nothing that this bullpen does as a whole is easy. Like they always got to make it sweaty. But Helsley ends up getting the pop out at the end of the game, and Cardinals win at 6-5. Helsley grabs his 5th save of the season. Fedde gets the win despite the 5 walks. He owes Kyle Leahy a big juicy steak and a bottle of wine for getting him out of that 6th inning. That was a monster spot. JoJo obviously in a monster spot. Start of something better, hopefully, for JoJo. It was good to see, his reaction to getting out of it, like a very playoff-like atmosphere during that inning and during those couple of hitters. Wiggles out of that one, is able to pick up Maton, who, got singled to death today. The leadoff walk, bad, we know. But it wasn't like they were just, smashing the ball off the wall or anything like that. It was singles, singles got him. So it happens. Maton, shake it off, because we're going to need you down the stretch here, obviously. Contreras and Donnie, big games offensively, a solid team win against a very good Mets squad who had beaten the Cardinals 9 times in a row. 9 times. Yeah, that streak over. Done. So big game, big win for the Cardinals. Another victory at home. Got a chance to win the series in Game 2. I'll have a brand new episode over what happens in Game 2 with Andre Palante on the mound coming into your feed. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube, help our channel and our love for the Cardinals grow. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason, and we'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.